You are about to hear the biggest music scam in history, a duo who won a Grammy with a huge lie. A lie they managed to hide from the world for over 2 years. A lie that even put them at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 for 26 weeks. It's crazy when you hear it, but here it is. Right from the start, they were only lip-syncing. So how exactly did these guys fool their own fans? Why the hell did they have to fake everything? And what happened when the world finally found out? Soon you will be surprised with the full story. Because Night Fam, this video will not end with the lesson you expected. And the real villains will not be the same guys in your head. This is the biggest scam in music history. Milli Vanilli. That was their hit song. But right from the start, there was nothing true about them. See, the song itself was not even an original. German record producer Frank Farian heard the first version played at a disco when he came up with his bright idea. He thought this song could be remade into a bigger hit in the US. All he needed were the faces to go with that song. That is where Rob Pilatus and Fab Morvan come in. That time, Rob and Fab were so poor they stole food to survive. So when the producer discovered the duo and offered them $4,000 each for the gig, Rob and Fab said yes without even thinking about it. Soon they got invited at the recording studio for a real test. And when they started singing, Farian didn't like their voices, yet somehow he still decided to go with them. With their contract signed, Rob and Fab soon earned a record deal. Never mind the lack of talent, the pair would just arrive at the studio, go down to the basement and hang out for hours in the pool there. These guys won't even sing a single note. The real voices behind the songs they would sneak into the studio at night once the other staff were gone. Now, at this point, you might be quite angry at Rob and Fab, right? I mean, how could they get all the credit without putting any effort? But keep watching, because in a while, you might feel differently. Next thing they knew, Milli Vanilli was already touring in different countries. Rob and Fab would lip-sync to pre-recorded tracks on stage, and soon enough, they sold millions of records. The bigger they got, though, the more obvious the lie became, because reporters who did their interviews started getting suspicious. They would hear Fab's French accent and Rob's German accent and ask why was it so different from what they heard in the songs. Until the doubts led to the ultimate nightmare. This live performance on MTV.
I'm in love, girl. I'm in love, girl. I'm just in love, girl.
Not knowing what to do, one of them just walked out of stage. Despite the public fail, they were still topping the Billboard Hot 100. And even in the 32nd Grammy Awards, Milli Vanilli freaking won Best New Artist. As they got on that stage though, holding their precious Grammy, deep inside, Rob and Fab knew very well a lie couldn't last any longer, and I should just jump to the part of the story where they confess. But before we go there is something I have to confess as well. There is one thing I left out in this story, the real villain. Because if you asked how Rob and Fab felt back then, they would tell you they were being taken advantage of.
At that moment in our lives, we couldn't think better or wiser. We were 22, 23, very naive Germans, French people who never been in the United States, who hardly didn't speak English, who got this offer, you know.
Right from the start, the duo actually wanted to sing their own songs. But it was allegedly Farian, the record producer, who kept insisting to keep this act together. They said we were seduced, we were abused, and we felt very guilty.
We tell our fans we regretted it 200,000 times.
That's why when Milli Vanilli demanded to sing on their next album, or they will quit, Farian beat them to it. He fired them and then spilled their dirty secret to the public. So, they finally gave up and returned the Grammy they didn't deserve.
So we give this Grammy back now.
Then came the lawsuits, and some fans who attended their concerts and bought their records even got refunds. Hoping this isn't the end, Rob and Fab made a comeback, this time with their real voices. And at some point, they reconciled with Farian to produce another album. But sadly, on the night before their new album tour, Rob was found dead. Fab suspected it was drug overdose, the only way he could deal with the humiliation. Earlier I told you this video will not end with a lesson you expected. Because yes, even though it is indeed an unbelievable story, it may be the case that right now we are doing even crazier things on a mass scale. I mean, with the abuse of autotune in the songs we listen to these days, the amount of digital manipulation and pitch correction that we normalize in current music, even talent shows, with our social media stars who literally make careers out of lip syncing. If anything, maybe our current generation is even more lacking in authenticity. But if we look at today's music industry, we will see that many people today are also pretending.